my Facebook up. It was more for my college friends and just some random friends. And you can pick, you know, religion. I did not do that. You can put political. I didn't do that. But I put up single. And I thought, you know, now that more and more people in the business space are seeing it, it's just irrelevant. So I untagged single, and it sent an email to everyone on my Facebook that I was no longer single. And so I had to email back, yeah, actually, I'm still single. You know, it was just kind of, sorry? Yeah, with a big heart, yeah. It was just kind of one of those, like, this is like a whole project I didn't need to worry about. It was just absolutely mortifying. Yes? What you see is when it gives you your LinkedIn link, there's a little thing here that says edit, and just click that. Yeah. If you have a blog, if you have these sorts of things, again, you need to know the corporate policies, you know, at your companies or your institutions, Fidelity or otherwise, that have this sort of, you know, communication and what that's about. So that's just something, you know, you have to figure that out. Any questions on the how to work a room, this part, and then I want to do a quick break. But I think you guys need a cup of coffee. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do at the break. I want you to try the dyslexic introduction. It's tricky. I want you to try it. I want you to shake as many hands as you possibly can shake of folks. And I want you to be willing to get feedback and give feedback. This is your forum. You don't want to have the person, you know, later on be in that sort of situation. So do that as a break. I've got 9:25. Is that right? Oh, you guys have watches. Aren't you great? Let's come back in about 10 minutes. Right, so during the break I got asked a couple questions. How do you get into a conversation and how do you get out of a conversation? and also we're going to talk a little bit about introverts. Getting in and out of a conversation, the biggest part of a lot of this is learning to read body language and learning kind of to understand kind of those nonverbal cues. There's some research, and it's always a little bit up in the air, but basically are the interpretations of it. This was done at a UCLA study. So we communicate 55% with our body language. Now, when Luann was talking about me speaking and it's going to be filmed, I mean, you'll be able to watch that, but it's kind of a one-dimensional experience. It's not the same as being in the room. So you can watch something, but it's not the same as the experience of actually learning it and doing it. So, but what you're going to see in many situations is there's just many different ways that we kind of learn different things. So if I'm talking about body language, I'm sort of like this. How welcome do you feel when you want to engage me in conversation?
Not very welcome.
Not very welcomed at all. So right away, and sometimes when I see someone with their arms closed, I'll say, are you cold? Are you bored? You know, when someone leans into the conversation, when someone leans back. These are also some different things. You'll be able to kind of read the body language when you're kind of done with your one-on-one and the 15 minutes has gone a little bit too long, and they're kind of looking around at their office or they're kind of looking for their assistant. You know, this is why BlackBerries and you know, a lot of the technology has gotten so miscommunicated in the fact that, gee, I'm not interested. Well, the person's actually just using it as their phone. But the message is, I'm not interested. There was an article in the Times not too long ago about how a lot of technology tools are being banned from meetings in California at the film studios because it's like you're either in the meeting or you're not. I don't care. Just, you know, come in or come not. So, you know, in your body language, 38% is your voice/tone. Do we have anybody here from Canada? 8? So we've got Canadians and teenagers, and their voice goes up. And the first time this was pointed out to me, I was on the phone. And my mom wrote me a little note saying, honey, I know who you are, but do you know who you are? And I'm like, what does that mean, Mom? And she said, Diane, you're on the phone, and here's what you're saying. Hi, I'm Diane Darling. I'd like to work for you. I'm really good at what I do. Your voice is going up as if it's a question. Your words are saying you're really good at what you do. And so your 7% are your words. And you're sending a mixed message with your tone. And you're saying one is, I'm really good at what I do. The other one says, I have no clue about what I'm doing. So you have this inconsistent communication. And when you add in the body language, you all three want this to say the exact same thing. Now, what's really powerful about this is that whenever you send an email, you forfeit 93% of your communication power every time you send an email. Even with a smiley face. Smiley face with the teeth, the buck teeth, the braces. Yes. And so in many cases, you want to pick, should we be face-to-face and get 100%? Should we be on the phone and get 45? And this is why I'm a huge fan of the phone. This is why I actually do a lot of the tandem, the hybrid networking of the phone and email together. So I'll leave you a message, Mark, and I actually start out with my dyslexic introduction on the phone. Say, Mark, you may or may not remember me. I met you at the Fidelity session last week. My name is Diane Darling. There you go. Or what I'll do is, if we've had no connection, I'll say, I promised Luann Muir, I was going to give you a call. My name is irrelevant. I do this all the time when I'm on the phone. My name means nothing. But if I say, I promised Luann I was going to give you a call, and you know Luann, I've established credibility right away. So in many cases, you want to kind of find out where the body language, where the voice and the tone and the words, where they conflict and where they're compatible.
Similar situation. My mother has told me on the phone that I sound like Minnie Mouse.
Okay.
True story. She said, tone it down when you're on a business call, which I found insulting. I shared it with a coworker, and they said, no, it's okay. What are your thoughts as far as your pitch?
I think for women it's tough. I think it is tough. And so I think for women, you do need to be probably more mindful of your pitch than you do as a man. And I think, so if you have the high voice and your voice goes up, I'm completely confused. So part of it is you might want to, and this, you get some feedback from the forum here. I think in general, what I've actually done is I've done some voice work with somebody who helped me, and this is the comedy to this a lot, is it slowed me down. It made me more thoughtful of my words. And so what you want to do when you're saying something positive or you're saying something where you know what you're saying is you want to watch your words fall. Are they leaving and going down? Like mine just went up. And you do not want to hear from your accountant, hi, you're going to get a refund? Are you getting a refund? Or, hi, you're going to get audited? Well, are you or are you not? And is that a good thing or a bad thing? So, and especially, it's just this, the person's confused. Their body language and your voice is saying one thing, any more than you would go in for a meeting with a senior executive and sit slouched in the chair. If you're sitting slouched in the chair, it kind of shows you're not engaged. So any questions about that part of things? No? All right, I want to touch a little bit about introvert. Oh, getting into conversations and out of conversations is where you use your body language. So when we were having a conversation a minute ago, somebody wanted to join us, you turned your body and invited them in basically by your body language. You may not even have known you did that.
Well, I did it.
Great, okay. So what you did is he saw someone was nearby trying to join us in the conversation. Will you stand up for a minute? So is it Jeff or Jeffrey? Jeff. So if Jeff and I are talking like this and we're boxed in, we're kind of saying, don't join us. Whereas if I just simply do this, now one thing, if I do this, he's dying to move. He's going to mirror me. He's not going to stand facing at me if I've shifted and I've opened up our conversation. So right now, anybody can join us. And even if it's someone over here, like Alicia saw, she was able to join us because our circle opened up. So it means even people from here, this side can join us. Now, when you're trying to get out of the conversation is when you kind of want to do a couple things. Also, your body language helps. Now, you guys do this real simple. The men do it simple. You simply shake hands, and the men leave. And I worked with a group of women cardiologists one time, and there was a challenge because the women were costing the hospital more than the men. It actually got down to a handshake because the men doctor would say, I can't wait to hear more about Grandma tomorrow, and they would shake hands with the whole family and walk to the next patient. The woman doctor would say, oh, what a nice story about Grandma. Well, oh, great, another story about Grandma. Well, here's another story about Grandma. And the woman doctor did not shake hands with the family and leave. So your body language, again, can message a lot. Also, if you're trying to get out of a conversation, here's kind of the cruel reality. They want to get rid of you, too. They just don't know how. And they don't know how to do it gracefully. But they feel like they've taken your time, and they want to move on, and they're trying to figure out how to do this. So in many cases, it's actually